Good morning, my name's Razor and I've been a mountain biker for 25 years, not professionally, and I ain't sponsored. A while back I did a review of the Trek 9.8 rail, one of the first ones, and I just thought I'd go back and revisit how the bike's been over the past 6 months, what I like, what I don't like, and what I've upgraded. So one of the first things that got upgraded was the wheels. Not because they're a particularly bad wheel, but because the rims are just an absolute nightmare to put tyres on and off. Horrible. So I got some Mavic Crossmax, and I think they were about 270 quid for a pair, and absolutely fantastic, really good. One of the best upgrades for the bike so far, to be honest with you. After the initial issues with the batteries, if you remember, my brother's ejected. Once everything's been altered, everything was fine. I'm on my second motor. I had a 503 error early on. To be fair to Leisure Lakes, they did turn it around quickly. It was about 10 days and a brand new motor in. So at the front we've got a RRP mudguard. This is my second mudguard because the first one I didn't really get on with. To me that's about as good as you're going to get for winter. And on the back is the Mudhugger Fugly mudguard, which is absolutely brilliant because it works, and not only does it stop all the spray going up your back, it also stops it going up on your seat post, your dropper post, which I think is good for longevity. Bergtech pedals, yeah, really good. Not as grippy as my Sam Hills, I have to say, but they're absolutely fine. I've forgotten to bring my multi-tool from my case because I took it out to clean it, dickhead. Lezine bottle holder, and in there is my tube and my tyre levers, just in case. Saddles are a thing of preference. I've got my old Kenevo, Specialized Kenevo one back on. A lot of people are upgrading the brakes on these, putting some bling on MT7 Mercuras or Hope V4s. I have to say that the Shimano SLX, definitely not blingy, but they work well. Really good brake. Better in fact than the XTs that they used to have, because they had a bit of a floating lever where you'd have a different bike point. Some people don't bother about that. I do. Since my SRAM drivetrains run sort of out of miles, I've upgraded to XT 12 speed. I've had to change the free hub on the Mavics, but that's no big deal. It just pulls out and pops back in, and I prefer Shimano, I have to say. I think it's crisper. But the other good thing is that to replace anything is a lot less money, and for me, because I pay for everything myself, that's a big issue. What else? Yeah, so tyres. So didn't like the Bontrager ones that came with the bike. Some people like them, I just didn't. So I've been using V tyres for quite a few years now. So on the front I've got V tyre E-Synthesis. Really good tyre, good for UK conditions, great on routes. But in my opinion, because I ain't a light rider, I'm 190 pounds this morning, that's with no kit on. It's not good enough for the back. So I used to have an eddy current on the back, which was really good, but a bit heavy, a bit draggy. But yeah, super bomb proof, didn't have any issues. So when that ran out, what I did was change to a Scorpion, which I've seen advertised, and I thought, yeah, we'll try that because they look really good on the sidewalls, a lot of protection. And so I got a Scorpion EMTB Hyperwall R, and when it came I was like, dear me, this is like a semi-slick, semi-knob tyre. Absolutely not what you want for winter riding. However, riding it, I cannot get over the grip it gives you. It just shouldn't grip that well with those small little knobs. So yeah, happy with that. Very surprised with how it performs. Really good. And once the trails start to dry up a little, Walk of Hold car park near Rivington, and these are lockdown conditions. and I cannot get on the car park, and you can see that it's just wall to wall craziness. But hey, so one thing I wanted to mention was that my brother's shop went within only a few miles, and to be fair, they sorted it out, they serviced it, but it's gone again. And so this time what's happened is the initial stroke, there's just nothing, it's just like a spring, although once you get past that then it's fine. So what he's decided to do, rather than be without his bike, is to order a coil, which would be a, thank you, big upgrade for his bike. Well, we'll see. So he's currently got an Öhlins coil from, I think it's TTF tuned, who are the guys I believe to talk to if you want to upgrade your suspension. Now touch wood, I've not had, well, I hope, any issues with my rear suspension. It's been bob on. Do I like the reactive thing? Oh, crikey. Well, I have to say I do ride a lot with it fully open. If I'm doing some road work or firework, I might flick it into the reactive. But I tend to like, whoa, that's deep. I quite like an active ride. And my last bike was the Special Evo, which obviously had the Öhlins, which I liked a lot. So is it something I would consider? We'll see how it goes on, and just see if it makes that much difference to the bike. Now I believe after talking to him, it increases the travel as well, so you do get a little bit more travel, and it's recommended that you ride in the low position on the monolink, because the shock will take that up. Because it's got extra, you won't actually lose any height on your bottom bracket, and so that'll be quite interesting, that it'll end up with more than it really started with. Thank you. And so in that case, I suppose it's I'm stopping there saying, oh, there you go. And so yeah, we'll see. To me, the wheels were the biggest thing. The wheels were well, it's the rims, just dire. The eddy current, they reckon you can't even put them on, which to me is it's just not on. You need to be able to put any tyre you want on. So I have to say, when I got these Mavics, they were like 270 quid. It's just a no-brainer, because they're a really, really good, strong wheel. Really nice free hub. It's a 361. So I find the suspension absolutely fine on mine. As you can see, this extremely scary looking set of steps, which I'm sure somebody like Tracy Mosley wouldn't even break down. But yeah, it probably doesn't look anything on the GoPro, but that's a scary stepper. Okay, so what else then? I've watched a 2021 test of e-bikes where the tread rails come out in top position, and absolutely rightly so, in my opinion, which just leads me to talk about the battery removal. A friend of mine's bought the white. Hi there, Mark B. We'll have to see what your take is on it, but to me, if a battery is removable, then it should be removable easily. It definitely shouldn't go through all the faff that we looked about on that video, because it just looked horrendous. Now, my bike stops outside in an unheated room, so for me to take the battery out is literally 10 seconds. So I can bring it in the warmth and it gets charged up and it's nice and warm for these especially in the UK wintry conditions. Would it bother me if I had to charge the bike up in the bike all the time? Absolutely yes. To me as well, it's maybe not a deterrent for thieves, but if somebody takes that bike but they've not been able to get into the room where the battery is, then that bike is absolutely no good to them whatsoever. Morning. And I think it's a really strong pointer to get in the bike, which the battery does come out easily and can be charged easily. I don't understand why they've made it so hard. If they want to make it like some of the specialised where it's non-removable or very difficult to remove, then that's fair enough, because you know that when you buy it. But for the people that haven't seen how difficult it is to remove and they buy it and then they go to try and remove it, I think these guys are going to be in for a tiny shock. So the other thing is the Purion display, which is a love-hate thing with a lot of people. Ever since I got the bike, I wanted a Kiox display on it. I asked for that when I bought it and was told I couldn't have it, and always kept looking at the prices of it. So glad I didn't now. I need to have a look at this Nyon in the flesh to see how big it is. But the Nyon just looks like a proper piece of kit. It just looks like it's a next generation into e-bike tech, especially for Bosch. And I think for a small subscription you can alter the power levels, which is something that I would be very, very interested in doing. When I had the Specialized, I had the Believo app, just so I could alter the levels, and just found it brilliant. People have got different ideas of what they want e-bikes to do, and so if you want a lot of assistance, you can do that, and if you want a little bit of assistance, you'd be able to do that as well. The Bosch, for me, the tour is slightly too easy, and EMTB is just crazy easy. It's just the most amazing the most amazing thing ever. But if I could, I would turn it down a little bit, because I've come off rides with the MTB only and I've thought that was so easy, so much fun, but yeah, so easy physically. I'm quite fortunate in that I have a gravel bike which I ride regular, and I also Zwift a fair bit, because I know they say I know they say that mountain biking keeps you fit as well, but I don't think there's any substitute for riding a non-EMTB bike to keep that fitness up. Certainly gives you a different workout. So for instance, a upper body workout, especially if you're lifting over gates and fences and whatnot. And also the bikes weigh a bit more, so they're a bit harder to muscle around. In that respect, I mean, I'm quite lucky. I'm a chunky lad, so it doesn't bother me that much. But so this is that's Winter Hill, and as you can see, the view is pretty outstanding from here. Gorgeous day, hardly any wind. So what else do I like and don't like about the trek? Well, I've got the Project One, which is an expensive colour option, and it has to be seen to be believed that the orange is just absolutely breathtakingly fantastic. It's a shame it doesn't stop on the bike though, because it chips like just unbelievable. And I've had this in Visiframe from new, and there's marks all over it. Now, I suppose the purists are going to say that that's biking. Well, it is, but I had a Santa and that looked fantastic after 12 months. Unfortunately this doesn't, but hey ho, it did when it was new. And that's just another view from up here. It's absolutely breathtaking. I hope that conveys onto the camera, but wow, just amazing. This is the other side of the mast, and this downhill's called San Marino. Very, very good one. We'll not be going fast on it today because it just looks horrendous, and I'm sure there's going to be quite a few ruts and stuff. But for those that don't know where it is, you get the mast on your left, and then you go on for about 1,000 yards and through a gate, and then you end up on this track, and the track just goes down. You can't really go wrong with it. It doesn't veer off, it just goes straight. If it's your first time down, then just please take care with that. Hello, thank you. Once you've done it a few times, that's fine, but there's drop-offs and there's going to be hidden channels of where the rain's just concentrated where the rain's been. Well, cracky like that, so can you see it's quite difficult to say the least. Just pop in here, get a grip in here. Oh wow, it's a while since I've been down, and you can see what the rain, the conditions have done to it. It's horrendous. Wow. That's the first bit. Once the first bit's over, it does come into this hard patch stuff, which is a lot better. With this, just watch out for rain channels, because if they catch your wheel, it's easy for you to come a cropper. But yeah, San Marino, near Rivington, absolute corker. Like I said, we're just going to circle down it today. I can't go fast and talk on the camera, if I'm honest. I don't know why, but you just need to concentrate on trying to say something. And oh, what's this? A cheeky little, whoa, that's slippy. Cheeky little line to the left that's appeared that I didn't think was there before. Oh man, whoa. One thing I do like about this trek is, by God, it could jump. I thought my Canevo was good, but this is just so well weighted. It's just absolutely beautiful. I can see where testers have said it. You know, they tried against the Treks downhill bike just to see how fast it is. Because I have to say, I find it absolutely awesome. It really does handle well. And I'm looking for a route round here. Which is good, because I'm going to be coming back up this. Because the great thing about e-bikes is, you just can. So yeah, this is San Marino, and if you get a chance, please pop over and whiz down it. Watch out for the few jumps. I definitely would not recommend a Sunday though, because it's just crazy. And there's a bit of friction between the walkers and the dog walkers. It just doesn't make sense. If Sunday's your only day to get out, then you don't have a lot of choice. I would just pick your times wisely then, because it's about, I don't know what time it is, it's probably about 11 o'clock, and I've been to the car park at Walker Fold and I cannot get a space. It's absolutely jammers. Luckily, because I'm a local and I know the local trails, the way I've been isn't where a lot of the walkers would go. So far it's been pretty quiet, and as you can see, San Marino is very quiet, which is grand, because the last thing you want is to upset people. If indeed you can help it. I mean, some people are just dicks, and they just always will be, so I won't worry about them. But yeah, so this is the bottom section of San Marino, and you can see it's fairly rutted and slightly dodgy, but boy, it's a lot of fun. The suspension setup I've got at the minute is absolutely sublime. It really is absolutely gorgeous, and coupled with the tyres, the pressures, and I'm running Tannis inserts, which I have done for years, and it's just a magic carpet ride, absolutely stunning. And that, my friends, is San Marino. There is a bottom part down there, but to be honest, it just leads to the road, and then it's a bit of road work which I don't. So just for reference, that little village there, that's Belthorne. So if you want to know where San Marino is, just check Belthorne, pop it on your map, and you'll find it. This is the the top of San Marino, and this is the gate you can go through, and then you've got the mast which is just over there, just for reference. But that's a tough climb if you haven't got an e-bike, very tough. So if you're on an e-bike and you're fancying something else besides San Marino, then as soon as you get past the gate, take a right so that the mast is on your left, and you'll come up this road, and I'll try and record the route for you. It's commonly known as the Ditch of Doom, but we probably won't be going into the Ditch of Doom today. We'll just be going on the top of it. That's the plan anyway. It is for fairly advanced riders, not for beginners. Thank you. So I'd certainly be careful with going down it, especially for the first time, because the first time you just don't know what's there. Thank you. So yeah, as with everything, recce it first and make sure you're okay. Now, I'm not sure whether the GoPro shows it, but that's a pretty steep old hill on the right hand side, and that's what we're going to be going down in a second. Just been through some puddles there, and there's ice. There's seriously ice on top, I kid you not. And oh cranky, there's a puddle over here where one of my mates, Lint, he's been in it, and I know it's really deep, and he unfortunately didn't do, and he went straight over the bars, and which isn't unusual for Lint. Sorry Lint if you're watching this, mate, but it's the truth, and I know you'd agree with me as well. Very entertaining Lint to go out with. Absolutely top bloke, and always fun rides when you ride with him. It really is definitely an experience to savour. Not often we get people up here, but there's a few today. Thank you. And we're just coming up to get towards the steep part now. If you wanted to do the Ditch of Doom, you would keep slightly to the right, but it may well be, you know, 3 or 4 foot deep now. Last time I did it, it was rideable, but quite difficult. Cranky. As you can see, the terrain just changes so much. You can do it one day and then come back another day and it's just completely different. So the ditch is just to our right, and I don't know if you can see it now. It's on one of my other videos if you want to check it out. But oh, there it is. That should be a good shot of it. And this is a lovely bit of off camber. Like I say, when I was saying about the tyres earlier, these V tyres are extra special, especially on mud and routes. And this back Pirelli is, I just can't believe how it grips, because it hasn't got any sort of very, very shallow knobs on it. What grip it does, whether it just suits my style and the Trek rail could well be, it could well be that, but yeah, no complaints so far. So this is obviously miles steeper than it looks, because on the GoPro it looks like a billiard table, I would think, but it is quite steep, and it's quite frosty and rutted. Oh, that's a nice line. So yeah, the Trek rate, it climbs fantastically, descends brilliantly, jumps well. I can absolutely see why it got bike of the year. Just very, very, very nicely thought out features on it, like the battery. It's just absolutely fantastic. Once you get it set up, obviously you've got to, is that going to get me over bars? No. You've got to get it set up right, but once it's done, it's done. And like I said, we've had since we've altered them, 0 problems with them, and it's just a great design. But by God, it's a bit boggy. Yeah, look at that. Can you see? That's the sound of ice. This is a bit of a tour around my local ride as well, and this is the rocky road, and just up there, that's the one we've just come down, and that's where the Ditch of Doom is, and obviously that's the mast there, and San Marino's over that way. this will lead us to the Japanese gardens and the pigeon tower, and if you want a look around at some of the gorgeous things that there are here, it's well worth a trip along. This rocky road is quite long and definitely recommended for full suspension, although I have done it on a cross-country little caravan hardtail, but it's certainly not as easy as a 160mm travel Trek 9.8 with 29 wheels on, which is kind of as good as it gets, I suppose. Okay, so then we slog the rocky road. It does go on for a little while. I don't know if you can see on the GoPro, but right in the distance here's the roof of the pigeon tower, and there is Rivington Pike on the left hand side, just to give you a bearing of what it's like. So I'm going to show you how to get to the ice cream run. The ice cream run, I believe, was a downhill once of a day, and Steve Peak won that. And I've also seen a video of Elliot Heath, who I believe is the World Enduro rider, going down it like it's a main road. Absolutely can't believe the speed that man gets on it, and because it is rough, with a capital rough. So I'll just be going down in survival mode. I've been down it quick a few times, well, quick for me, but with all this water I have a feeling it's going to be extremely difficult just to even get down it. So I'll show you how to get there, and then if you're coming for a ride round, go and do the ice cream run. Yeah, so as you come along to the end of the concrete road, you can see this building on the right, which is called the Pigeon Tower, which has been fantastically renovated and definitely worth a look round it. So we're going to do a U-turn right, and this then is the top of the ice cream run. The top bit is absolutely dead simple. Please don't get into a false sense of security that this is going to be easy, because it isn't going to last, and it's going to get rough pretty darn quick, unless they tarmacked it, because it once was tarmac, but there's very little of the tarmac left now, and I'm going to be really careful going down here because I know what it's like. So it's starting to get a little bit rougher, and then you can just see it get into an absolute minefield of rocks and boulders and all sorts of stuff. And I don't know what the lines are going to be like. It's quite a while since I've been down here, to be honest. So we're going into some quite decent rock steps, and this is where quite a few Land Rovers come and just test how good the 4x4s are, because if they can get up this, then really it is a fair achievement, because you can see it's an absolute boulder fest. Crikey. And it's like marbles. Whoop! Little jump off there. So yeah, Elliot Heath absolutely sends it down this, and I don't know how the hell he does, because it's all I can do to bloody ride down it. And I'm sure if he was to ever watch my YouTube, which is extremely unlikely, he'd be saying, "Send it, Mark, send it, speed is your friend." And I absolutely agree, but I ain't going to be doing that. Just no chance. This is plenty fast enough, especially when I don't know what's coming up now. There's a chicken line to the left, but if you want your thrills, then this is the one to come to. And look at that! Wow, crikey! Yeah, it's pretty rough, and this bike's got 160mm suspension, and I'm on 29 tyres. You know, it's still really bad. Crikey! Oh, you can see on the GoPro just how bad this is. But if you fancy the showers, then yeah, get down ice cream run and test your mettle. And if you can go down this full bore, then fair play to you, because it's definitely a bridge too far. And the reason it's called ice cream run is because quite a lot of times you'll find an ice cream van parked right here. So if it's a sunny day, you can just come down an ice cream. Don't get any better than that, does it? Okay, so that's the ice cream run, which we've just come down, and the easiest way to get back up is this way, which is very pleasant, and there's some nice, oh look at this, has all been made on there's some nice architecture and stuff to look at if you're into that type of thing, because this is called Japanese Gardens, and this is where Lord Leverhulme lived, and the pigeon tower at the top, that was part of his dwellings, and it's just been renovated with lottery money, and they've made a fantastic job. They've uncovered all sorts, so if you're into your archaeology or your history, it's definitely worth having a gander up. So as you can see, this is just some of the gorgeous architecture that's around here, and if you're walking rather than riding, you can go left on that, and that's a shortcut right up to the top. What I'm going to do is just have a whiz up the normal fire track and make my way up to Rivy Pike. Top of the fire road, we're coming back towards the pigeon tower, and that's where we went for ice cream run, and we're going to do a U-turn right, and we're going to follow this road and turn left, and we're going to go up to Rivy Pike. And again, I just can't believe how easy, well not easy, but how good it is on these e-bikes, because San Marino is a brilliant downhill, but if you thought that if you went down it you've got to ride up it, you probably won't do that much, whereas on these it's just enjoyable trying to get back up it. It's a fair techie climb, and to get up that with no dabs is you know, it's really good. Yeah, I mean, that's just me, that's just my opinion, but absolutely loving it. This is the back way up to Rivy Pike, and as you can see it's pretty damn packed, so I'm not going to be stopping about long. There's just people everywhere. But yeah, if you come up the back way, this is where you come to. That's Rivy Pike there, and just for bearings, that is the mast that we were up to earlier. That one there, the man on top of the hill, that's the two lads. A lot of archaeology behind that, and history, which is something I quite enjoy, to be honest. And this is one of the descents down, which is quite fun. Again, if you've never done it, I recommend that you recce it, because there's a few, as you can see, tasty drop-offs, and pretty easy to get yourself caught up on, or caught out on, depending on which way you view it. The bottom bit is pretty rutted and pretty slippy, and if I don't come off I'll be pretty happy, to be honest, because it's that mud which is just a few mil thick, and you don't get a lot of traction through the knobs. The one thing I will say is these Vic tyres are pretty damn good in the UK mud and loop, and short of an absolute mud tyre, I reckon they're as good as anything. I've tried Magic Marys, and I haven't got a bad word to say about Magic Marys, to be honest. They are really good. It's just that the V tyres, for me, it's as if they've got a slower rebound, and so if you're hitting harder terrain, then it just doesn't seem to bounce off it the same. It just tends to damp it, and that makes quite a big difference to your ride. Makes it a lot softer and a lot nicer. So this is down to my last bit of battery on my GoPro. I've only got one battery today, and I'll probably conclude my my video for today. So just my thoughts on the 9.8, how it's been over the last few months, well probably 7 or 8 months now, and also a bit of a tour around Rivy, for the people that are going where's this, where's that all the time. Hopefully you'll be able to see from the video where the entrance points are, and some of the stuff that you can do around here. It's really handy to have on your backyard. I know people that have got to travel miles and miles and miles and miles to get anywhere good, but I've got this on my doorstep. So that's it for another one. Thanks for watching, and subscribe if you will, please. Thanks, bye bye. This is one of the uphills I've already been up, and we're near the end of the ride now, and it's just nice to get out, nice to feel alive, and it's damn nice to have an e-bike, especially if it's a Trek Rail 9.8. Go past me left, cheers. So, oh man. This is pretty tricky. It's quite loose, and where you've only got a few millimetres of mud on top because it's so cold, that really is like trying to ride on ice. But we're okay so far, but definitely in better condition. So good morning. Down to the last bit now anyway. I hope this looks fast because it is. Woo! Ah. Yeah, loose.